Okay, this says I like to move it quiz. So I'm going to show you some pictures and we're going to talk about movement and you're going to answer these questions while we're talking about it. So number 1 says movement is. When we get to the part in the computer that says movement is, I'll highlight it and you can write it right here, okay? Then we're going to talk about a man named Sir Isaac Newton. And he came up with a number of laws of motion. When we figure that out, you're going to write how many laws he came up with. And then we're going to talk about 3 ways that things move. And you're going to write those 3 things here. 1, 2, 3. And then the last 2 things are going to be things that you learned about how things move. A ball when going downhill will, which of the movements will it do? And then you're going to try to think of a movement that you might see on the playground. Next week, if the weather is really nice, hopefully cross our fingers, we'll do what's called Playground Olympics. And we'll go outside and we're going to do different movements out in the playground. We're going to write them down on our clipboards. So that's what we're going to do next week, hopefully, if the weather cooperates with us. So, I'm going to pull up. I like to move it. Okay, what is movement? Movement happens all around us all the time. Right now, lots of things are moving in this classroom, including Miss Doty's mouth. It's moving, right? Okay. Movement is when an object's position changes. So there I have it highlighted. Right here it says movement is. I want you to finish the sentence. Movement is when an object's position changes. So write that down. I got to highlight. You've already got movement is when an object's position changes. Write that down on number 1. That's what movement is when an object changes where it's at. Yep. That's number 1. When an object's position changes. Example of something that is example of this is someone walking. What's moving when you're walking? What's moving? Your feet, your legs, your whole body. You is moving when you're walking, but your feet are helping you move. A ball rolling, or a bird that is flying through the sky. Those are all examples of movement. How can things move? If you pay close attention to everyday activities, you can observe different movements happen all around you. Movement can happen in many different ways. There's 3 ways that we're going to talk about moving. Rolling, sliding, and spinning. So number 3 says, we're going to skip number 2 right now. Number 3 says, name 3 different ways that things move. Rolling, sliding, spinning. Those are the 3 ways that things move. Kinsler, the 3 ways that things move. That's number 3. Rolling, sliding, spinning. There's 3 blanks there. You're going to write one on each blank. Rolling, sliding, spinning. On number. Here's Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton discovered the 3 laws of motion. So look at number 2. How many laws did he have? 3. So on number 2, Sir Isaac Newton discovered 3 laws of motion. Put the number 3 there on number 2. You got 3 laws of motion. Let me tell you what those motions are. The first law is that an object will rest and stay resting. I don't know why it's going all the way to second. An object will rest and stay resting unless someone makes it move. So an object will not move unless someone makes it, right? That's called rest. It's resting. The second law that he said, oh my goodness, come on, not liking me today. Here we go. The second law is an object will move if something pushes or pulls it. So when something pushes or pulls, that's called a force. So if I roll this, this is a rolling movement, right? It doesn't slide or spin, it rolls. If I roll it, I got to push it. If I pull it, I'm stopping it, right? So those are movements, forces that have to take. So an object will move if you push or pull it. And then third law, if an object pushes object, the object will push or pull back. So when it's rolling and I stop it and push, it will stop. And even if I push it enough, it'll go the other way. So it goes, pulls and pushes back. Just kind of like we learned with the magnets, how they push and pull each other. If one pushes, it's going to pull the other way. So if an object pushes or pulls on another object, we'll push or pull back. Let's talk more about pushing or pulling. Objects have something that is called a force that makes them move. A force is a push or pull that causes an object to move, stop, or change its direction. So you have to have a force to make something move, to make it stop, or to change which direction it goes. How's it going to move? We can often predict the motion that an object will have by observing its shape. So if an object is round, how do you think it's going to move? Roll, spin, or slide? Roll, that's right. If it's flat, how do you think it'll do? Roll, spin, or slide? Slide. And if it's pointed at the end, what do you think it's going to do? Spin. Y'all already know all of this. Okay, so let's go back over here. Number 4, a ball, when going downhill, will it roll, spin, or slide? Number 4, a ball, when going downhill, will it roll, spin, or slide? Right, which one? Roll, spin, or slide? A ball going downhill will roll, spin, or slide. Okay, number 5. Name a movement you might observe on the playground. So if you're on the playground, there's things you can do that roll, there's things you can do that slide, there's things that you can do that spin. Write one of those things you might do on a playground. Don't just write roll, spin, or slide. Tell me what you do when you roll, spin, or slide. Say, I will roll when I play this, or I will slide when I play this, or I will see spinning when I do this. So tell me what it is and what motion it makes.